Well, welcome back to Living with a Classic, and we're down the metal storage unit, and here is the Series 1.5 E-type you saw a little bit on last year, where it was sitting for a while and got it going, and then customer drove it a little bit, and then I've stored it for him for the winter. We've ordered some car parts that finally arrived, because if you remember, the choke doesn't really work right, and there are these jets in the carbs, and there's like a membrane so they will move down, and they're stuck, so I don't really want to move down. But today's a pretty warm day. We're hoping it will fire up. Actually, I brought starting fluid as well, because it cranks kind of slow, even with a new battery and everything. It's an old starter. It's an old car. Things happen. But I do have a jump pack as well. So hopefully I'm down here to get it going, drive it home, and then go through just replacing those things in the carbs, and hopefully have it running really nicely and be able to return to him. So I've just installed the battery. It was home on charge. We're gonna remove the top of the air box so we can spray a little bit into the carbs. Just give it the biggest fighting chance to fire up quickly without, running out of battery. So here is the top of the air box. This is like some glass fiber or plastic or something, usually. Usually I think there are wing nuts back here, but someone's replaced them with 1/2 inch. I'm not really sure. At least most E-types I've worked on, they were wing nuts here. And we'll see. Hopefully, I have brought as well a little bit of emery cloth and things in case we need to clean up the points in it. I did just check the oil. It's up to level, and there's nothing underneath it, so coolant should be up to level as well. It's not like a massive puddle underneath it. All right, drop the washer down there. Get that in a little bit. Take this off and see if we can get it rolling. We're in neutral. Just gonna see that we have a fuel pump. Most importantly, that the carbs don't overflow like last year, and that it shuts off. Ignition light, we do have there we go, the pump did stop. So we'll go out and have a look. We'll pull the choke as well. So when for all the butterflies will be open a little bit more. If we spray some starting fluid in. Normally I wouldn't do this, but the choke is the problem with the car. And they crank over pretty slow, these E-types with the original starter. And I'm far away from home, and I kind of wanted to get going. So I'm gonna need 2 hands. I'll open up the butterflies, we'll spray a little into each of them, and then crank it over and see what happens. Clutch in, and let's see. I wonder if we do have spark. Okay, I think we might have to check if we have spark. Tough to do all this one-handed, but left ignition on, just want to see if we have any sort of power at the coil. I think so. We just need to somehow ground it and do this at the same time. Yeah, power at the coil. Let's look at the points. Points don't look too bad. However, the top of the rotor is really burnt. So I'll clean up both and then put it back together, and we'll see if we have spark. Just cleaning up the points, even though they look kind of clean, just to make sure. A little bit of dirt coming off, not too much. That's looking better. It does need a new rotor. It's a little burnt there, but should make contact now. I'll just clean up the cap as well, and we'll give it a shot. You see down here, I have the power on. So there is spark at the points. hopefully at the coil as well. So I think we're getting some. I think I may have lost spark. Clean the points again. Let's see. Tack isn't moving. That's not a good sign. Something is going on with the ignition system again. Alright, I'm going to open the point by hand here, and I have a screwdriver jammed through there. Let's see if we get... Alright. Cool, we're getting spark. Hopefully we're getting it at the HT leads as well, and then there we go. I think we just had 30 points that cleaned a couple times. We have oil pressure. There we go. It doesn't enrich the choke at the moment, but it sort of does hold up the idle. Alright, I'm going to close the bonnet and we can drive out of here because we're smoking up everything pretty badly. And then let's sit outside and run for a bit and see if we can drive home. Running beautifully now. So I'm just going to let it warm up a tiny bit. Or maybe not. We'll shut it off, put it on top of the air filter. Forgot about that. Then we'll let it warm up, take the roof down probably, and go for a fun drive home. Almost home, and it's been running nicely. It stood there and idled for quite a bit while I was putting other cars away, and fans on everything. I think the battery voltage was a little low because it was like misfiring a little bit. The gauge was low, but as soon as I pulled away, and after about 30 seconds or so, the car started charging, and then charging nicely, and then it's been running beautifully ever since, keeping temperature and everything. And I'll pull into the workshop, we'll let it cool down fully, and then we'll have a look at replacing those jets. So we're in the workshop, it's all cooled down, and I looked a bit. I think I can replace them without taking too much apart. This is what it looks like. So the needle goes in there up top, and then it can move up and down while you're setting the mixture and with the chokes. If you have a look here, that is where it sits. So I think if I remove the bowls, I can get to it and just replace it and not have to touch the rest of it. At least that's the theory. And it looks like I have just enough space to do that. So I'm gonna grab some tools, start loosening the fuel lines, batteries disconnected of course, and then take it apart. So I'll take off the air cleaner top there just to get a little bit of room underneath, I think. And then you have some banjo bolts there. Each of the fuel lines, get that out of the way. Probably also remove these as well. And then, yeah, go from there. This is a little bit exploratory, but I want to see if I can get these off screws here. And it seems like I can. There are 4 screws down here holding it. This will be the choke bracket on the middle one as well. But I still think that would be better than removing everything else. We'll try it on one, if that seems all right. We'll do it. Otherwise, we'll remove all the carbs as a unit. It's just, I want to try not to disturb any linkage and everything else like that. But yeah, I'm going to try and continue to get these off. These are quite long. And if I can get them all off, then I should be able to just lower down the float bowl a little bit and then get the jet out. A little while later, and I have that out. down there, so fuel bowl's just sort of hanging down there. As you see, it's not still pliable, so that wasn't actually the main issue. But since we suspected it was a good thing, because if these crack, you'll have a fuel leak. It was actually that there was corrosion on here, but I have new ones. So let us clean up that part of the carb there. We'll put in the new ones, make sure that they move nicely, and then I got 2 more left to do. If all that goes well, we should have functioning choke once again. So yeah, these being stuck, I had to push up top. You see there's some marks in there. I had to push with a flat blade screwdriver really hard to get this to pull out. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense now why we weren't getting any choke action at all. I made some progress. I'm on to the second carb here. This is all back together, moving really nicely and smoothly. Second carb here. And one thing, when you're always dealing with SUs, never mess up the dash pot. So I like to lay them out like that. Well, now, this is really just something, yeah, kind of WD-40-ish. All I want to do is, if you see here, is clean up that from any corrosion. This is just this is a paint gun cleaning brush. I think it's doing a pretty good job. We'll just try and rinse all this with one hand for you guys. The problem with the E-type is the bonnet. It's so low that putting any camera in here is just, it's difficult. But that's all good. Now we'll grab another new jet. Yep. And then that will just snake up into here. And then put this one back together. Let me see if we can get it to... There we go. And yeah, we'll get this all lined up. There we go, that comes up. Line up the holes in that, put the float bowl back on, and then it's on to the last one. All right, time to do the last carb. And hopefully that one goes easy as well. There is a little bit less room underneath that one. But I did the most difficult one first, the middle one, because there's a bracket underneath it that holds the choke cable. But so far though, this is not too bad. Just E-types are cumbersome to work on with the bonnet in place. Yes, you can raise them off the ground and get the bonnet a little bit further up, but the carbs are okay to work on. It's worse if you need to go front, like even checking the coolant in the radiator is kind of a pain on an E. But that's just the way it is. And so let's see, we have move the fuel line out of the way. But with the air filter box out of the way and everything, that's not too bad. And this is the last one. There we go. The float bowl can sort of just float there on the side, and then the jets are a little stuck, but I just, there we go. Then they come out. There's a spring, and then jet comes out. Like I said, the rubber is okay. It's starting to like balloon a little bit and get stiff in here, so it's really good that we're replacing them anyways. But the real issue was corrosion here. But then again, what if we had just lubricated and pushed the jets up and down up here, and these were starting to crack, and then a couple miles down the road you'd have a fuel leak. So it's a good thing we're replacing them. It's a safety item, in my opinion. So there's a new one. Just like the other one, I'll clean up inside here. We'll put it all back together, and then start hooking up fuel lines again, making sure we have no leaks, putting everything back together to clean out the inside here a little bit, top them up with oil, and then crank it up, see if it fires up. All back together, and I just pulled the chokes, and all the jets are pretty far down. Now let's see if I can show you this. That's one of those difficult to film moments. Let's see if we can figure this out. All right, if you have a look at that, I will move the choke, and you see how they went up. So you see it goes down and up. They're all moving as they should. So I'll just clean up a little bit in here. It's pretty clean. Make sure the lifting pins work. We'll just have a look inside dash pots. Put that back together. Fuel lines, air filter box, you name it, and then fire them up and see how it goes. All right, filled up the carbs, and not seeing any leaks so far. All seems nice and tight everywhere. So now I'm going to put on like the trumpet holder here that the airbox goes on to, and all of that. And then I think we can fire it up. Still got to put oil in the dash pots, but no leaks so far is a really good thing. All right, let's see. All right, ticking stopped. We will give it full choke, and let's see. And there we go. Fire straight into life. And the choke down a bit up. It actually wants it. Ah, it wants choke. All right. Kind of let it run. Let's go out and check for some leaks. Loving that. Okay, I think we'll shut it down for now, and then we can put the air box and everything on. Let's see if we can. We're trying to choke down a tiny click at least. Yeah. Perfect. All right, let's shut that down and put on the air box. I also want to, I didn't check it before because there was no puddle underneath, but I just want to double check the coolant level. That's why we're not letting it warm up too much. And also fully fasten the battery because I had it out during the winter and it's just sitting in there. So I want to do a couple of those things, put it all back together, double check all fluid levels, double check for leaks again. But I think we've definitely fixed the cold start issue because I fired up the first try. I was sitting here warming up nicely, and taco rate's a little high on it. I think the idle is pretty good. Can be maybe slightly a bit too high, but it is running nicely. And that's good for all the response as well. That is nice. And my 3-year-old is sitting watching everything. He's really good when his customer cars and never touches anything. And I know the guy here, and he would just like it if you know, get the next generation into things. He saw the car a couple days ago and he thought it was the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. So that's good. We'll let it warm up for a little more, check out for leaks, and then probably just go for a little test drive. let's just take it for a brief test drive. We're about to get thunderstorms in an hour or so, so we'll see. I think the idle is a little high, but before, I think that the jets weren't off a lip. It was running rich. So we'll drive a bit more, and then this will be it for this video. But in a different video, I will replace those points because I did have to clean it 3 times to get it to run. That doesn't feel that great. I'm gonna keep the condenser because the old ones are much better. And then once ignition all is verified and is correct, and timing, then if needed be, I'll turn down the idle just a tiny bit. Yeah, the tach does read a little high, but we do have a little bit of a high idle. It may be the idle is about 1,000, 1,100 RPMs. But it's charging good now. It wasn't when we just picked it up. But this used to be one of those things. It's been sitting for a while. Everything needs to sort of work out. But we're charging pretty good. And fans have kicked on. It's cooled down now. It's at the M of normal. It's a pretty hot day today. But everything looks good. Brakes feel good. And I did look. It does have an upgrade. It has Coopercraft disc brakes up front. It always had disc brakes, but better calipers up front, so that's good. But yeah, it is. It's lovely. Now that it can actually fire up and run and start, that's even more fantastic. It was a tiny bit, on the flooded side because I had sprayed, some carb cleaner and things down in there just to clean things up in the carbs when we had everything apart. So I think the next cold start will be even better on it. But yeah, dark clouds all around. They're giving flood warnings, but we live right at the top of the mountain, so we never get floods here. But probably down in the valleys today. You might want to think about where you park your car. You'll get these thunderstorms in the summer here, and they can be pretty bad. Try and let you guys experience that long bonnet as well. It's a very good view. Lovely, lovely car. Someday, it would be absolutely like a dream to own a car like this. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a joy to drive. My opinion, still feels pretty modern. I mean, most people can get in and drive them if you can fit, and of course, if you can drive a manual. But yeah, really, really nice car. Maybe not the greatest sort of Grand Touring holiday car. There's almost no space in the convertibles for things in the back, but they're absolutely lovely. Just like a day like this, having some alone time, and if you have like a nice convertible to drive, that'd be lovely. There's no way I can afford like an E-type, but just being able to work on them and test drive them is that is a joy in itself. So I'll head back, have a quick look at that under the bonnet. Otherwise, I think that will be it for this video. I need to put this car inside into storage for a little bit and get the next car in the workshop and start continuing on that. The bit of the choke mechanism there was hung out to the side, and it was holding the center carb open a little bit. Now we're down at a good idle. The tach does read high, and we've talked about it earlier. It's done that for many, many years. So I think it reads probably about 500 high, so we probably have, it reads 1250 right now. I think that's a 750 idle. Sounds pretty good. It's nice. Slight tiny stumble at idle, but once again, the points gap is not going to be correct now that it's been sanded and all of that and we've gone through. Who knows how correctly that was set up before, but it runs really nicely, keeps temperature. Electric fans are actually working really well, so it doesn't go above the 8 of normal. So now it's even with the bonnet open, it goes down a little bit. So working well, and yes, it's warm, but I can show you that the high idle choke, here it goes up, so that does work, and it comes back down again. So I call that fixed. Anyways, that is it for this video. I'm going to put the top back up. I'm going to put it away in storage. Put a cover on it before we get this rainstorm. We'll let it cool down a little bit for maybe an hour or so before the rainstorm. But that was a nice thing, getting this good friend of mine and almost a neighbor actually, E-type, out of storage. And well, the cold start issue in the beginning, well, that was two things this time. Completely dead at first. That was definitely just dirty points. Sometimes when you clean them up, they'll spark, and then you'll get one crank or something, and it will light off, and then it'll stop sparking again. So it's usually if you clean them 2 or 3 times. Did that, it's been running great now, but I am going to put new points in it another day and check. I think I have, it's a 22D, I believe. Should have points for those at home, otherwise just order up a set. And then go through other things, but it's running nicely, the brakes are working well, and staying nice and cool, and all of that. So I call that success, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Till next time, I'm Adam. This is Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.